Hi guys, my name is Kirsty and welcome back to Upside Down Books. Today we're going to be doing an absolutely massive book haul, which was unexpected. So I'm a complete idiot and I managed to forget to do my February book haul and wrap up. I only just realized I didn't have a wrap up for February. I feel like that is at the very least a testament to how chaotic March was for me. So today, however, I'm going to go through all of the books that I bought in both February and March. So I did a good job of not buying too many books. However, I have received quite the number of books. Although that being said, I have also bought quite the number of audiobooks, so mostly I'm just useless and now I have a lot more books than what I started with at the beginning of this year. So let's just get straight into it. So I think I'm going to start with the audiobooks as usual to make sure I don't forget them any more than I already have, and I have quite a few audiobooks to share with you today, so let's just dive right in. I can't remember for the life of me which ones I've hauled already, so we're just going to potentially double up on a few. I don't think I have done this yet though, but one of them was The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, which is the companion slash follow-up novel to The Handmaid's Tale, which I'm really excited to read. I've heard loads of good things about this already, so I'm super excited about it, and I am just finishing. I have one more episode to go of season 1 of the TV series, so I'm really invested in this world right now and I cannot wait to listen, which is how I read A Handmaid's Tale on audiobook, to The Testaments. The next audiobook that I got with my subscription was Miranda Hart's follow-up memoir, which is Peggy and Me, and I am really excited for this one as well because I read her first book, Is It Just Me? years, like over 5 years ago, something that was recommended to me by a friend, and Miranda has since become a celebrity that I absolutely adore. She is just a brilliantly hilarious person, and if you don't follow her on Instagram then you definitely should if you want something to smile at every day. So I'm really excited to read a second memoir by her because apparently this is the thing that I'm doing, and I'm slowly going to read through every memoir out there by comedians that I can find. It is of course also narrated by her. Then there was a sale and apparently I just have a weakness for Audible sales now, so I bought 3 new books when the sale came around, and those were as follows. So no surprises, I got another memoir. So Richard Ayoade's got a memoir. It's actually quite a short one. I think it's only 4.5 hours long, so this will be really breezy to read through and probably be the next thing that I listen to. Richard Ayoade I know from The IT Crowd, and I loved The IT Crowd. It's probably one of the first series that I really binge watched, so I'm really excited to have him narrate his own audiobook and listen to that because I thought I was already laughing in the previews of it that you could listen to on Audible. The next book that I got was actually a bind-up, so technically it's 2 books, so technically I bought 4 books in the sale, but whatever, and that is The Magician, The Apprentice and The Master by Raymond E. Feist. Now this book I have never had any huge desire to read, or read with any sort of priority at least, and it's something that I think my dad has read the first book, but I don't really know what it's about, and the titles are a bit confusing because I thought it was called Magician, but then that's like the series name, and then there's the Apprentice and Master as the act. It's all very confusing, and I haven't really heard that many people talking about it. It's not really something that I feel is possibly our generation of booktubers and bookstagram. People just don't talk about it that much. It's not Brandon Sanderson. So I'm very excited to listen to this as audiobook and thought that this was a great opportunity to dive in and see what it's all about. So the first 2 books combined are 36 hours long, so that's actually pretty decent. That's still shorter than most Outlander books, so what a win. And the final book that I got is one I am actually really excited for, and that is The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. Now this one I have known about for quite some time because I used to watch Reagan on Peruse Projects, which is a booktuber that you are more than likely familiar with, obsessively when I was a bit younger, and this is a series that she read a lot and talked about a lot, and they were always really massive but they sounded really good, and I just always wanted to have the time to commit to reading this series, and when I saw that this was on sale, given that it's already quite a large book, I thought, heck, let's just give it a try. So I am really excited and really crossing my fingers that I love this. I suspect this will be something that I really, really enjoy. So let's move on to the physical books that I bought. It is only 3. I hope it's only 3. There's every chance I've forgotten a book. In fact, I've just remembered hang on. So the first one is A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Brigid Kemmerer, which I am hanging out to read, but I want to be in the right mood for it, and I don't feel like I'm quite in the right mood for this sort of YA fantasy at the moment. So I'm not going to ruin this series by reading it at the wrong time, but I am certain that I'm going to love this. I've been hanging out for this sequel, so the first book was like my favourite book of 2019, so to say I have high expectations of this is an understatement and a half. If you don't know, this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. It's a very loose retelling of, well, actually it's not that loose a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but it's certainly got some interesting twists and elements to it, and it has some nicely complex characters and with a wonderfully cruel cliffhanger at the very end. The next book I got, I honestly wasn't intending on buying because I was trying to restrict myself from buying too many books, but I saw it and I bought it, and that was that. And that is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas, and holy shit, this book is massive. I'm really excited that Sarah J Maas is finally writing adult fiction and not pretending that she's a young adult author anymore, because I think her writing is fantastic, and I'm so excited to see her actually write for the correct intended audience. This has an absolutely stunning cover, and I love it, and it's very floppy, so it's a nice easy one to read. I heartily approve of this format, but I am terrified by how big this book is. This book is massive, so I think I'm going to wait for it to the weather to get a bit cooler and for winter to really set in, and for a really quiet, maybe long weekend or some time off on a holiday or something, if I'm ever allowed to have a holiday again, if COVID ever ends, and then I think I will dive into this and read it. But for now, I'm definitely saving this up. I haven't heard any spoilers or anything like that on the web yet, but one of my friends has said that she's been really enjoying it, so fingers crossed that this will be absolutely phenomenal. The last book that I bought, I'm really excited that I bought it because I just started reading it and it's the most brilliant book I've ever read. It's possibly going to be like one of my favourite books of my life, and that is By Yourself, The Fucking Lilies by Tara Schuster. Tara Schuster. Now, I don't know who Tara Schuster is. I'm sure I should. She's a TV celebrity sort of personality or something like that. And I apologize to Tara for not knowing exactly who she is. But when I saw that this was coming out, I think it was in March. I think it was only last month. And I read the synopsis. I just thought that this is a book I need in my life, and I was right. This book is hilarious. If you read just the contents table, if you see it in a bookstore, I think that will be enough to convince you that you need to buy this book. It's just basically her telling you about how crazy and shit her life has been and how she fixed it and found happiness. And it's a self-care, self-help sort of book that I'm just thoroughly enjoying. It's super entertaining. I would recommend this 11 out of 10. Like, I'm 20 pages in and that's how much I love it already. So let's move on to the ARCs and other copies that I received throughout March and February. It's so many. I don't know what's happened. I don't know why I've suddenly got so many. And after such a disastrous start with the two books that I DNF'd in February, I've been pretty nervous to read them. So the first book that I have to show you is The Vanishing Deep by Astrid Scholt. This one was sent to me by Alan Unwin, who I was thoroughly surprised to receive a book from because I have so many of their books unread and unreviewed, and I apologise profusely, but I am excited about this because they sent me Four Dead Queens last year and I actually really enjoyed it. I wasn't blown away by it, but I enjoyed it, and I'm quite nervous. So I have a big question mark over this book. I'm not going to be going in with high expectations because I'm not sure that Astrid Scholt's writing is actually 100% my taste. I think it might only be like 70% my taste. But this is all about, I think, like bringing people back from the dead, or something. I think she's trying to bring someone back for a day, or I'm not really sure, but I'm willing to give this one a go. So all of these books that I'm going to talk about have been released, so I'm not even going to talk about their specific release dates. The next book I got sent was The Long Road Home by Fiona McCallum. Now this one I'm not going to be reading myself, but this was sent to me by Pam McMillan, so thank you very much for sending this my way. What I am planning on doing, if you haven't seen my TBR jar video, is I am going to be interviewing my mum, who is going to read this, which is book 2 to this series, and she's going to be reading book 1, and I'm going to basically do a review based off her. So if you do want to know what this is like, if this is something that you're interested in, then keep an eye out for those reviews / interviews when they come out, and they'll most likely be coming out on my blog, not on my YouTube channel. The next book I'm really excited about. I was thrilled to receive this one, and this is a bookmark in it. I missed that. And this was sent to me by Harlequin, and that's Q. So this is called Q. I believe this is called something else in America. Cannot remember what it is though. And this is by Christine Dalcher, and it's basically about a world where only the perfect will survive, which is the tagline on the front cover here. I don't even know if this is the final cover. I don't think it necessarily is, but basically this is a dystopian sci-fi about the world purging people who do not have like a high IQ or who are perfect or talented or have something great to contribute to society. So I'm really excited to see where this story takes us. The next book I have to show you is an absolutely massive chunky one, and that is the Just an Ordinary Family by Fiona Lowe. Now I really like Fiona Lowe's writing. I was sent one of her books last year called Home Fires. I was very skeptical of it, but I did actually read it and was blown away by how much I enjoyed it. That was such an amazing story of people surviving a disaster, and so I'm really excited to read this. I'm not going to be rushing in to read it because it is quite a big book, and I'm not really in the mood for such a heavy and emotionally draining read as Fiona Lowe's other book was, but I am expecting that I will actually enjoy this as well. The main character loses her job and has to move home with her parents who live in a tiny seaside town, and I think it's just about her life and all the struggles that come after that. So excited for that one. The next two books I'm really excited for, as these were books that had been on my watch list of things I was potentially going to buy myself, and the first one is The Unspoken Name by A.K. Darkwood. This is about magic, sorcery, sacrifices, ogres, absolutely everything you could want. Go read the blurb if you're interested. I'm sure you will be interested. If the cover looks good to you, then this is probably the right book for you. That's all I can say about this one. Cannot wait to read it. It is quite big. It was bigger than I was expecting, so again, going to wait until I'm in the mood to tackle a slightly more committed read. And the final book that I have to show you today is another historical fiction, which I'm really excited about, and that is The Mercies by Karen Millward Hargrave. Now this one is set in a Scandinavian town where there is a disaster and all of the menfolk are killed in it, and it's just women left on this island. Now there is a little bit more to the story about that, but if you're interested in that, then I would suggest you go and read more for yourself. But this book, yeah, is basically exploring this idea of what happens to a town when only the women are left, how they cope, and how the sort of, I guess, power balance changes because of that. So I think this will be a really thought-provoking read and has an absolutely stunning cover, so that is always a plus. So these are all of the books that I received over the last couple of months. I really, in my mind, thought that I had done a pretty good job in not buying or acquiring too many books, but I was really, really wrong. So in my defense, I was sent a lot of these. I did not buy all of these, and that is the only defense that I have. But nonetheless, I've got a lot of reading to do. So I personally can't wait to be quarantined so that I'll have loads of time to actually get through all of these stories, because I am overwhelmed. If you've read any of these, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so let me know. But other than that, I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.